Last year, I built my personal brand and I was able to monetize early with only 300 followers. And today, I'm going to talk about my personal brand mistakes that made me lose 1,000 followers and $1,000. If it wasn't for these mistakes, I would be much better now. I would be much evolved now. And first of all, personal branding is the biggest asset you can build nowadays. But if you don't build it the right way, it can lead you to an endless route of just wasting time. That's why I'm here to show you the mistakes to read my journey the most and how you can avoid it. And you can see like a bit of my results, a bit of my account, a bit of comments, a bit of the results that I had passed. And if I could zoom in here, it's like 80 impressions in 7 days or something like that. I forgot my social proof that my monetization, but anyway, let's move forward. First of all, I want to talk about the concept of leverage. And before going to step, I want to clarify one biggest advantage you will have for now. And this is an extra tip, by the way. This is the mistake that I didn't fix early on and I regretted for that. So I want to start with this special tip that is a bonus tip that if you want to start a personal brand, you should understand first the meaning of leverage. If you want to play this as a long-term game, you need to build this game on leverage. Understand which games you want to play on and double down. Example of leverage are YouTube videos, X threads, networking DMs, and partnerships with people. But what do I mean with this? With leverage? With leverage, I mean that you should be focusing on actions that compounds over time. That not only compound, but it gives you advantage in other situations. So for example, a YouTube video is a very leveraged action because not only your YouTube video can compound over time, but can give you advantage into making partnerships with people, into meeting new people because of the result that you had. And the same goes for X threads. For example of X threads, if you do a well written X threads on X Twitter and people like it, you will have thousands of millions of views and X will always recommend it. And if you understand about X, if you make a short form post, this short form post usually lasts 24 hours. And in 24 hours, if you post on X Twitter, everybody forgets about you. But if you post a good thread, no one will. And not only no one will, but when people do click on your profile, they will look for more. They will hunt for more. They will search for your newsletter. They will search for whatever you do have more in place. So focus on X threads, focus on YouTube videos that gives you leverage, and focus on networking with people on X, because networking on X has allowed me to meet great people and has allowed me to monetize early and has allowed me to have such great opportunities that I have been having right now. Because to start this YouTube channel, I've had from experts that I met on X that they helped me get some clarity before me starting up. So it was a really great advantage that I had early on that I would recommend you to start applying this concept of leverage in your personal brand, because over time will compound. And I will talk more about this concept later on in the video. But yeah, we do have partnerships with people, and if you can double down on these types of actions that over time can compound, you will already be on track to win this game and you will already be on the way to get your financial freedom from your personal brand. And this is the first thing that I want to understand. So let's get straight to all the tips that you need to start building your personal brand day and start winning this game. So first of all, the first mistake that I did was writing for everyone. I remember when I started on X and when I started on this YouTube channel, I had the mistake that I would be chasing trends. I would be creating content that would attract most of the people. But who are most of these people? Are they ideal to be my clients? Are they ideal to be the public that I want to communicate with, that I want to exchange my ideas, my point of view? Most of them are not. And this rule applies whether you are on YouTube. And it's common mistakes I see every beginner does this when they are starting their channel. So likes and cash, it's a principle that I started to live by. And the mistake every beginner does, it's clear in this image. So whenever you see a post in the internet or on X Twitter, most people change virality, most people change success overnight, most people change that kind of bit of cloud. And sometimes cloud might give you money, sometimes it's not always. But I'll give you an example here on X Twitter. This post right here, it performed well, 116 likes, 5 bookmarks, 8 retweets, 58 comments. This post, 15 bookmarks, 48, 5 retweets, and 20 comments. This post was a long form. I couldn't like take a screenshot of the whole thing, but if you could stop and analyze which of these posts would bring me more clients, if you were to analyze, probably you would say that this kind of post would get me more clients, 116 likes, of course. But no, the post that gave me more clients, besides these low metrics, was this post on the left. Not because it was viral, but because I attracted the right people to see. I attracted the right people that I knew they would be my client, and I did the content in order to be a little bit viral or get more views, because I did not only wanted to get likes, I wanted to get clients. And that's the mistake I see most people here. They get a post that does perform well, and 4,000 views on X Twitter is pretty good, because most people don't get this easily. If you create content on a daily basis, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people would prefer to get these 4,000 views with this kind of content and get no clients and think that they are making progress. Instead, there are people that are getting consistently these views and getting clients. So you need to know your position. Who do you want to attract? The same goes for your YouTube video. You won't be creating videos for everyone and expecting clients. That won't happen. Either you create content that is going to attract the people that you want, or either you create content to attract the people that you do not want and keep chasing trends and don't get clients, and don't get clients that you want to work with and that you plan to work with. So the rule is simple. Focus on your interest and connect with your niche. Don't be the niche guy, but be the guy with great positioning that talks about your interests. Sometimes it's okay to boost your brand with non-ICP content. With non-ICP, I mean just like talk about some stuff that you know that will perform well, but don't expect a lot of clients. Expect likes, expect your name getting more noticeable, but you won't be getting clients for posts that gets this but don't get in depth, and posts like this that get in depth and might attract client. And let's go to the next one. The next one, I'm developing the concept of leverage, and I'm just gonna clarify the concept that most beginner does, that is fake productivity, that is just wasting time. So I've learned that people love to waste time just to feel more productive, just to feel more meaningful, just to feel that they are making progress. And I'm gonna give you a few examples. If I'm editing a YouTube video, for example, and I want this video to be perfect, so I'm going to take time to launch it. And I'm not an expert in videos. I'm not a guy that has all this knowledge about making videos online. I'm just a guy who wants to start his personal brand, but I want to make a perfect video. This is just wasting time. If I'm worried about YouTube AdSense, instead of finding ways to monetize without YouTube AdSense, build my products or partnerships or things like that, then I'm wasting time, not progress. Because even if I worry a lot about YouTube AdSense, this stuff can take time. And if I don't find ways to monetize instead of focus on YouTube AdSense, it's just waste of time. Because if I find ways to monetize without YouTube AdSense, it would make my process more easier and enjoyable, because I do have a source of making money that doesn't depend on YouTube, and it's much better because when YouTube AdSense comes in, you will already be having like two sources of income, and that's what you want. That's what I believe. And all of this comes down to leverage. And I will give you an example with X. People waste time with engagement on X, and on X you have to engage to get content, and there are people that engage for like 2 to 3 hours a day, and they post random content and they keep chasing trends. They keep constantly be on this loop. And me, I leverage my unique ideas using big creators' names. As you can see here, I focus on DM so I can meet some great people, and I focus on my newsletter so I can sell more. And you can see here, I did a post that you can see this post as leverage, as a well-definition example of leverage, because here I'm not talking about only Hamza, Vigo, or this girl. I'm talking about my unique idea around them. So I was using this unique idea last year, and I was using this unique idea around these people, and I didn't only specify these people as the greatest, but this unique idea that I helped them teach. And people that wanted to understand what does thought leading mean, they would come to me and not search for these people, because I just use these people as leverage. And this is the kind of thing that I say compounds over time, because if I only posted a post that talks about this, or talk about how Hamza does that, or how this guy does this, the post wouldn't be very much useful. The post wouldn't compound. But this post compounded because it's not only about them, it's about my unique idea around them. And my unique idea around them gives me leverage, gives me advantage to sell my products, to make better content, and to make better stuff. So I do the things that compounds over time and not give me one single result. So instead of doing an action that give a single result after the action, I do things that give me multiple results instead of one. And starting today, think for yourself what you can do that can give you advantage in the long run. I'll give you an example of myself right here, just a random. If I create semen retention content, I know it will give me a long life, or it will be a long-term action, because semen retention has a long time span. Because a video on semen retention, about 30 days on semen retention from like 33 months ago or 6 months ago, is valuable, and a video about semen retention from like 2 months ago about how it was the feeling of achieving 60 days, for example, on semen retention, or 120 days, it normally has a long time frame, so it's a good stuff to bear in. And number two, like directing people to my newsletter. I can give them more value there. I can recommend them my products, partnerships, and a lot of stuff. And building a program through YouTube, so when a video does well, I will already have clients. So instead of waiting for YouTube AdSense and this kind of stuff, I will already be having a product in place. So when a video does perform well, I will already have clients. And this is the game I'm talking about. This is the game that you should be playing, the game that you can win by having multiple results instead of one only. And the last one is consistency isn't progress. One of the biggest myths I've been seeing a lot recently online is the myth of consistency. And everyone just said to you, all you need is to be consistent, be persistent, work hard, but persistence, consistency is everything. And I remember people on X that did the same and they got no results. And I remember I met a guy on school that posted for a year and his video didn't got 50 views. I remember his video were getting like 9, 10, 5, 6, and he posted for a whole year consistently. Like I do think like he was posting for about like every day, I don't remember, or every 3 to 4 days, and his video barely got like 10 to 20 or even 50 views, and I got 50 views just a few days ago, simply because he was just being consistent. And I will give you another thing: don't just be consistent, iterate. Tracking data accurately has been my biggest secret. Learning, applying, and changing things fast counts. If you're just consistent, you will just be another one and not accomplish any of your dreams. Wake up. You need more than consistency. You need hard work, iteration, and track more data. Because you see, if I only was consistent in YouTube, I wouldn't get my results like this fast, because I'm not focusing a lot of my channel. I'm focusing on a slow, steady pace, because I'm tracking data the most. I'm tracking everything I can do to improve and to change my videos. And I saw that days ago that I tracked data, I fixed some stuff, and I saw that I rapidly got 52 views just by tracking data, just by iterating, just by improving myself. And the thing that I would say is, you need more than consistency. You need hard work, iteration, and tracking data, and not just be consistent, because over time these results that I'm having right here will be turning into another kind of results that you will soon see. And that's what made a difference for me in the long run. That's what made my game much better. So this is what you should be focused on. This is what you should be putting your energy on, and not waste more of your time. This is the game. This is the real deal. So stop wasting your time, get the work done, get things done, and I hope that you will have success with your personal brand.